around here don't listen to the Beatles run. Old Bo Cephas threw a jukebox needle at the honky-tonk where they boot stomp all night. What? Yeah, and what they call work a digging in the dirt. Gotta get it in the ground before the rain come down to get paid, to get your girl in your four-wheel drive. Yeah, the boys round here drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot a back, shoot a back, shoot a back, a spit. Oh, heck. Well, the boys around here, they're keeping it country. Ain't a damn one know how to do the Dougie. No, I'm not in Kentucky, but these girls around here, yep, they still love me. Yeah, the girls around here, they all deserve a whistle. Shaking that sugar sweet as Dixie Crystal. They like that yawling southern drawl and just can't help it 'cause they just keep falling for the boys around here, drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot a back, shoot a back, shoot a back, spit.
Let's ride through the countryside. Let's ride down to the riverside.
Hey now, girl, hop inside. It's me and you gonna take a little ride to the river. Let's ride. That's right. Lay a blanket on the ground. Kissing in the crickets is the only sound. We out of town. Have you ever got down with a do you wanna get down with a girl, you gotta get down with the boys round here, drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here, sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back, shoot her back, shoot her back. I'm one of them boys round here, drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here, sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back, shoot her back, shoot her back, spit.
Welcome to the Wing It call. The recording is started. Today is July 5th. July. Oh, let's all take a knee, please. Pastor's not here, so you're going to get the redneck witness. Redneck witness says, Lord, forgive us, for we are all sinners, and you are in total control. I relinquish my life to you as I did many years ago. Please protect us and guide us. Give us an understanding heart. Lead us in the ways that you wish us to go. I know that we may stumble and fall, but that's part of your learning curve. And thank you for that. So, in Jesus Christ's name, amen. All righty. The disclaimer is as follows. We're not attorneys of any sorts. We're not financial advisors, or we're not CPAs. Anything on this call is not any sort of legal advice at all. For the rest of the disclaimer, please go to the wingitcall.com. There is a disclaimer tab. Click on that, and you will have the rest of the disclaimer. So we'll get right to it. I have a lot, but Wingman is back. Wingman, do you have anything you want to say before you might have to cut and run?
Well, Yeah, I looked at the questions from Friday's call. By the way, hi everybody. Glad to be back. I just wanted everybody to understand that some of the things that I said the week before concerning Order 13303, that information about we all get the same deal. It's an overall interpretation tied in with a lot of other executive orders and laws that are on the books. It's that you're not gonna read that thing and say and find this one simple declarative sentence that says, by the way, everybody's got to get the same deal. Essentially, that document deals with fairness. It gives us a declaration that it is a public event, and we're entitled to whatever anybody else is entitled to. There's no special group that gets more or less than us. I hope that clears that up a little bit. And then the other one, oh God, what was it? And now it's just keeping my I think it was something about race. But just please remember that everything that we're saying on this call, it's partially what's happening in the moment. It's partially a conglomeration of what we've learned over the months and years. It's all still in the final analysis. It's all still speculation until we get in that door. Just that, I believe we're going to get in that door. I believe we're going to get in there soon. And it's going to be great for everybody. So that's really all I want to say. I just wanted to put to bed any rumors or any specific expectations. You're going to have to think on your feet. You have to learn to think like you're a wealthy person, and that's that. Okay, Jerry, that's
Thanks,
all
Michael.
I got. Okay.
All right, go ahead and mute out. So basically
Yep.
what he's saying is, like I've been saying all along, you're just going to have to wing it, be prepared, be flexible with your game plans. That's it. So next go round, before I get into my little tidbit here, Art, come on down.
Good afternoon, everybody in our land and on this call. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you had a great weekend and partied yesterday or the day before, whenever you may have done it. And so it's a new beginning, I'd say. The only thing I've got is the sit rep that came out yesterday saying either 8:30 last night or 8:30 this morning for numbers, and obviously we are here on this call, so that did not happen. So the only thing I heard is the Chinese are involved somehow or another and not releasing something yet, or I don't know. So take that for what it's worth. It may not be worth that whole heck of a lot. I think that's about it. I guess there's just very quiet today so far. So maybe I know Dizzy Bear said that he thought we'd get numbers today on the call he was on last night. He felt pretty sure. Of course, today's not over. It's only halfway over. So who knows? We just may get them yet. But that's about all we got so far. It's just pretty quiet. So y'all have a great day and on with the show.
Thank you, Art. Appreciate it. Well, now leads us to the important part of the show. Somebody on Twitter said, Nash Rambler, can you stop all the BS and just give us the facts? Of course, I replied back, as Nash Rambler's over there with Kenny. I said, then find some and bring it. And he replied back, we did. It's over on Denard Daily. There's your good piece of information. Isn't that a wonderful site that gives you the truth? Oh, well, anyway, on to the good stuff. So everybody knows that Dizzy Bear and Jerry Maguire do not see eye to eye. However, I must say that from time to time he does have some good stuff, especially on his call today. He had on, let me get the name correct here, Shelton Levert, which is all over the internet. Shelton is a good man. He knows what he's talking about. I've looked at everything that he has. Oh, by the way, yes, I did listen to the Dizzy Bear call today. Normally I don't, but I was told that, you know, it was an unannounced special guest and Shelton showed up, so I had to listen. Thank you, Dizzy Bear, for bringing that man on and bringing some clarity to everything that's going on. Even though you and I have had our differences, that was a good call. Somebody by the name of Chicago tried to tear him down and say that he was doing something illegal and leading people down the path of not good. Well, that's not true, Chicago. Why would you do something like that? He's offering to the Dinar community some pretty good information. He is a great researcher, good attorney in his own right. Listen to that. So you might want to be careful about how you do things out there. Accusations can be misconstrued. What else? Where am I at? Shelton, if anybody, he's on, I think it's on Dinar Chronicles or Dinar Daily, something like that, with his links. He brought out some very good information over the years. That was originally intended only for his group, but somehow somebody made a mistake and it got on the internet. Dinar Recaps pulled it about an hour after it was put up, but Dinar Chronicles or Daily or Daddy or somebody still has it on there, and probably the only way he's going to stop it is to just pull it from his Dropbox or something else. I'm not quite sure how you do all that. So he is giving the truth. I got to give kudos for that. Where are we at? The European banks are under extreme pressure because now the liquidity that they have, it's starting to get eaten into. Everybody from the Bank of Japan to the euro, the bonds. Well, let me back up. The Bank of Japan to the euro are in critical stages because the bonds they're offering, Japan at one point was into negative bonds, which meaning you pay them for the pleasure of owning a bond. So when does that make sense? I think the U.S. is down to pretty low offerings on the bond also. So with that being said, I'm reading some notes here from the call today, and let me see, where am I at? Here's a question. Do they just have to start the process by the 6th? Yes. They have to get us into their doors. With the pound down in the UK, wouldn't that be good for them with their exports? It will help them in the long run, but it is not helping them for right now. If you are a central banker, you want to scare the crap out of everyone, so they set just a little flame. Not a brush fire yet. They are doing this to scare the British people, but it has backfired on them. They're talking about the Brexit. The problem with the pound down and gold down, everyone outside the syndicate is at risk. If you have a Shanghai Gold Exchange that is exchanging for real gold, this creates a big problem for the London Gold Exchange. The London Gold Exchange has been selling more gold certificates than what they actually have physical gold on hand. So that we're at a point where we're going to have to do a revaluation. They have basically until the 6th, which is tomorrow, so they can backdate everything to July 1st or the 30th when this was supposed to go down. This is all kind of like a sleight of hand accounting, or like, you know, redneck people do. Well, let's see. I get paid on Friday, and it takes 2 days for that check to clear. And if I write it now, I know I'm going to have money in there by Friday. Hell, I've done it. I've been in a pickle where I've had to do it. Don't have to do it anymore, because now you deposit a check, and pretty much within a couple hours, it's either going to clear or not. So they cut that little scenario down. That's an example of what the central banks, and they're doing sleight of hand with this accounting. Get it done by the 6th so we can backdate it. I talked to my wingman about that. He knows exactly what it is. He explained it pretty much the way I did. I'm just breaking it down to redneck common sense. Even though it's government, oh, well, we didn't really do that. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You just called it another name. Try to cover it up with what you call bookkeeping and lies, but that's what it boils down to. What else? Wingman, do you got anything you want to add in there? If you can, come in. If not, *2 to raise your hand, and we'll take a few callers here. Oh, wait, I've got questions too. Sorry, my bad. Questions. So here are the questions from the forum. Question 1, if you get a contract payout of 96% for your Zim exchange, can you get a contract payout on your 4% portion of that exchange? Yeah, because it's all the same, you know. But let me back up here. We do not know the rules of the game just yet. So I've heard there are 4 types, and Lord forgive me when I say a couple of these terms, because it all boils down to we won't know exactly what's going on till we walk in the door, we sit down, they count our money, and they say, all right, Mr. Jones or Mrs. Smith, here's what we have to offer. So that being said, I've heard that there's the international rate, there's the market rate, there's a contract rate, and then there is the sovereign rate. So now, and we don't know, nobody knows. Oh, by the way, Dizzy did confirm something that I had heard, that there were a couple of people that he knew that it had personally exchanged. Now, whether it was for SKRs or liquid, don't know. I'm going to lead probably more to the side of an SKR than straight cash, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. So that being said, now we're back to we're walking in the door. You got your 4 rates to choose from. I'm thinking the first 2 are probably not going to have an NDA or any type of disclosure attached to it, but the contract payout and a sovereign rate probably will. And what the rules are for that, nobody knows except the people in charge. I would love to say, hey, this is what's going down. They're not letting that out. And that's why Iko mentioned just be prepared. You know, my term is be ready, be flexible, wing it. But wing it with the knowledge that we have gained through all this over the years. It's going to be okay. You know, before you go in there, hoot and holler, dance around, try to do it privately down in your basement. Make sure the windows and doors are closed so you don't scare anybody. Get it all out of your system and be ready. Excuse me just a minute here. Oh, okay. Text number is blowing up again. No more. Just put the phone away. Don't look. So we won't know. Question 2. If the banks have been given release codes weeks ago, Why haven't we seen the release? What is holding us up? Is this thing even real? Yes, it's real. Oh, hold on. My bad. Oh, I'm sorry. Linda and Nancy brought Shelton on. Dizzy Bear did not. Had to get a clarification there. I'm sorry about that. So congratulations and kudos to them for clearing up anything out there, and I'm glad. And he's not an attorney, but he is an educator, and he teaches about what we're going through. But this was for his private group. It shouldn't have got out on the internet, so it did. We're making the best of it. Thank you for everything. Okay, so why haven't the banks released the codes? Well, as long as we're operating in a fiat system, they're making money. They can hide things. You know, the big four banks, if you go back in history, I was watching the show the other day, J.P. Morgan basically loaned the U.S. government back in the 1800s money to keep going. Yes. So that automatically put them in his pocket. That's where J.P. Morgan got his start at. Well, he was a multi-millionaire before that, but he was a smart man. And that's where all this got a good foothold in there. It's when you loan the government, you know, hundreds or tens of millions of dollars back in to keep going. So now it's all about bankers. Can they hold it up? Even if the Treasury releases it? Sure they can. What's the Treasury going to do? Hey, shame on you. We're going to give you a fine. Okay, fine me. We'll let the people pay the fine. You know, think about that. So J.P. Morgan gets dinged for $11 billion. Whoopie-doo. Who pays the fine? The people do. It's not any money out of their pocket. They're not feeling any pain. They are now. They definitely are now. So what's holding this up? I don't have a clue. I wish I did. Yeah, I do. Power and money and political. Like I've said, I'm in control of the power. I still have the money, but it's starting to get a little painful. All right, let's see if we can't make some new rules, and when this changes, we'll still be in the driver's seat. They're going to find some way to try to stay ahead of the game. So it's just up to us to learn how the game is played and try to protect ourselves. So, and yes, it is real. Number 3, I've heard rumors that this weekend they were exchanging in Canada, Texas, and Florida too, I believe. Does anyone know if these exchanges are liquid? Can they spend their funds now? I've answered that question. 4, I would like to give my mom and aunt and a few other family members lifetime gifts. Would that amount be $14,000? Would that amount be 14,000 times their present age, or is it a set amount for a lifetime gift? I think it's 14,000 maybe a year, or it could be. I'm not quite sure on that. Sorry. Question 5. Iko, what have you heard concerning our RV notification emails or 800 numbers? Well, I can answer that one because he knows about the same time that I know, or we haven't heard anything yet. Whether it's going to be an email, an 800 number, or both. That's the best that we know at this point, but they've got to let us know somehow. We just don't know how they're going to do it. Okay. First caller of the day, Fort Lauderdale, 954. Come on down.
Good afternoon. We have
Howdy.
heard, howdy, we have heard that Zim holders, especially those of us who have a lot, will be given preference. Can you shed a little light on that? Have you heard that? Or is this just an opinion of one obscure individual?
No, I've heard that. You know, because we've heard that they're bonds. We've heard all kinds of ideas of what they could be. And if that's the case, yes, I have Zim. Well, sir, you're to the front of the line. Not quite sure. Like I said, they won't share that playbook with me. I have asked.
Okay. Thank you very much for clarification.
You're welcome. Hey, it's Toronto, Canada. Rick on the web. Oh, come on.
Can you hear me?
Rick on the. Yes, sir. I'd hit my mute button wasn't working there. Go ahead.
Thanks very much. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Jerry. And thanks for the BTO song. That was a real tribute to us. I love it.
Thank you.
The only question I had was, and I think you probably covered it in your opening. I had to take a phone call when you were calling. Was about the complexity of the exchange process that other conference call was addressing. Is it really going to be all of that complicated, or are we looking at what we've always been told through you and others, that it's a fairly straightforward process, not to get too freaked out about it?
I don't know why it would be complicated.
Well, it's just the other conference call made it sound a lot more complicated than I've ever heard up until now.
I know, and I don't know why it would be complicated. You go in, you present your currency. They're going to have some options for you. You're going to ask some questions, and you're going to go on.
And is the processes that you're hearing identical, whether it's Canada or the U.S., or do you think the Canadian process might be different?
I can only vouch for the U.S. I am so sorry to say I don't know about Canada.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's all for now. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Star 2 to raise your hand. You can ask a question. Houston, Texas. Come on down. Oh, come on. There we go.
Hello.
Houston, can you? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I was calling about the actual time frame of when you said they think, or an estimate of when y'all thought this was happening. I thought I heard that at the opening, that it could happen sometime this week. Is it? Am I saying that correctly?
Well, I didn't give a date or a rate, but
right.
I was hopefully, last Friday or even the call before that, I was saying I'm putting my, at the time I said, well, I hope it goes on the 30th, but if not, I was looking for some time.
Hello? Jerry? Must have fell off.
Well, board, hang on just a minute. Looks like Jerry got kicked off the call. He will be back with us very shortly. Just hang on, please.
Okay.
Well, while we're waiting, Wingman, you there, sir?
Got kicked off
There
my
he
own
is.
call. Got kicked off my own call, darn it. I'm back. Houston, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were in the middle of your sentence and you just cut out. And my question was, if I thought I heard you correctly, were you still thinking this was going to happen this week?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
hoping. I said one or two calls ago that if it didn't go by, June 30th, that we probably were looking this side of July 4th, and well, here we are. So I'm shooting for this week.
Okay. All right. What I thought I heard, but I wasn't sure because I kind of caught the ending of what you were saying. So appreciate it, and I will be listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Raleigh, North Carolina, come on down.
Mr. Jerry,
Yes, sir.
the gentleman that you spoke of right at the beginning that was on Nancy's and Linda's call, was it Shelton? Sheldon?
Yes. His name is Shelton Levert.
Okay. And you said he was telling us some. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
His last name is Levert, Levert.
Okay. You mentioned that he was sharing some truths and everything out there. Can you go into any detail about what he was sharing on the call, or is that something we need to look up because of him not wanting things out there?
Well, it was for his own group, and it got leaked to the internet. But if you can find it, I think it's on Dinar Chronicles, and they haven't pulled it yet. You can go over there and look at it. There's a lot of information.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
All
I was
right.
just wondering if there's anything you share, and I understand that you can't. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hotlanta, 770, come on down. Hello, Hotlanta. Atlanta,
Hello.
Georgia, come on down.
Hello.
Got
Jerry,
it.
how you doing?
Good.
Okay, I listened to that entire call from Shelton the other night, and I forwarded on to a couple people that are involved in some degree to what we're involved in, and I got one warning from them. Stay away, stay far away. There's things that he said in there that would put people in jeopardy. He's making claims on rates. He's also making claims on conditions of rates. I don't know what he said today, but that call that he put out the other day was to people that have no idea what, let's face it, we all have issues about understanding exactly how things are going to go. He made this turn into a three-ring circus about, 30 days this has to get done, 60 days that has to be done, 90 days, about things that most folks have no idea with and would absolutely freak out at the bank if they were presented with some of the information that he presented.
Well, now, and I agree with that. What I'm getting at is some of the you had too much background noise there. What I'm saying is some of the articles, the get ready, the summations of things to do to protect yourselves, that's what I'm referring to. I didn't listen to the whole call. I had other people tell me about it, and they were talking about those things. If you're quiet now, I'll bring you back on.
Yes, he spoke on about the rate for the ZIM, how 30% of it must go to humanitarian, 2% charge from the Treasury, things that, we've all been told and those that are, quote, involved with this absolutely freaked out over when they were presented with this call and because I have it, I saved it. And, you know, people are just not going to understand truly what's going on if they pay attention to this. You can't make a condition of a rate based upon the humanitarian.
I know. Can you send that to the WINGIT call at gmail.com?
I will do my best. It's going to take a while to download, but I'll send it to you.
Okay, well, thank you. And thank you for bringing that to my attention. I guess I need to sit down and listen to it. But yeah, once again, we don't know the complete rules. I don't even know if he does. He could. I'm not going to say he doesn't.
Jerry, he made claims that he's part of the group out of Reno. And I know people that are involved with the folks in Reno, and they have no idea who he is. And when they heard this, they said, stay away.
Okay. Well, I'll check into that.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate the work all you, the three of you gentlemen and your crew do.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too. Here's another Houston, can you hear me now? 281.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, how are you? David in Houston. Question, other banks, can you give us a little better background as far as the banks or the redemption centers? Are they still waiting for us? Are they ready? And, of course, tomorrow is the 6th, so we might expect something tonight or in the morning. But can you elaborate on the banks? And I want to shout out to Patricia. Thanks.
They're ready. All I can say is they're ready for us. As to the particulars, once again, I don't know. My wingman, all he knows is that the redemption centers are real, and that's about it. As to how ready they are, I don't know. Oops,
Texas,
sorry.
California. Do you know what city in Texas?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're waiting and we're praying. So thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Orland, Illinois, 708. Come on down.
Hey, Jerry.
How you doing?
All right. My couple questions here. That's how this was supposed to happen by the 6th due to the waiver compliance, and also that they had to have our.
Hey, you got a lot of background noise there. We can barely hear you with all the background noise.
All right, hold on a second. Is that better?
Much better.
Is that better? Okay.
Yes.
I thought we were supposed to be in by the 6th due to the Basel compliance with the banks, and also that the receipts, they needed to have our money on deposit by the 6th. So looks like that's going to go out the door. So it just seems like a lot of the things we're standing on is just everything's passing us by, and I don't know. It doesn't. I don't want to sound negative. It don't look good. Everything keep passing us by, even in. I'm thinking if we really was going to be in due to all the things that were happening, especially the 6th is gone out the door. There's no way everybody going to get in before the 6th and have our deposits on by the 6th. Today is the 5th, so there's no way they can get us all in.
I understand. So you're probably going to laugh when I say this, so, don't throw me underneath the bus, but it all boils down to the golden rule. He with the gold makes the rules. I know that it sounds childish and kid-like, but we have no say-so other than to wait and wait and wait. And the good Lord says that all good things come to those who wait. Well, we're waiting, and that's our only option, and just to try to understand the game as best as possible.
My
I know
last
what
question
you're saying. Go ahead.
all of the intel that we're getting and we're being fed, this many years, why would you think they would feed us this type of intel and keep telling us, oh, okay, we're getting 800 numbers? Like, I know somebody, I won't mention the person's name because I'm not going to throw them in the bus, said we will get the 800 numbers last night or today. And then I guess there's so much mixed intel from all the intel providers, and none of it is coming to pass. So why are they feeding it to us if it's not even coming to pass? It just doesn't make sense.
Well,
that's my last question.
If you're trying to hide exactly what's going on, feed the sheep with all kinds of information because they'll believe anything. That's their mentality.
We're not in this.
Yeah, well, no, just distract us and keep us on. Don't look what the left hand's doing because the right hand is really what's going on. Look at the left hand. Don't watch the right hand. But see, you cannot stop God's will. This is all in His time.
Well, is it possible? Anything's possible. There's a possibility we could be here in January because they keep changing it. So we might as well just sit back, relax, and forget about it, and just, a lot of people just put it in the safe and move on because every time we get pumped and hyped and think we're going to the bank and pulling out stuff and counting it, they change on us.
Sure, and that's what they want, confusion.
Yeah.
And so it's up
right.
to us. It's up to us to be diligent. That's all, and keep an eye on what's going on. And I'm only bringing you what I feel is to the best of my ability, the truth. And go ahead.
I just want to say I appreciate you and Dizzy Bear. Both of you all are great intel providers, and enjoy your call and enjoy Dizzy's call. And it's always a serious and non-playful call, no folly, and that's what most people are looking for, So we appreciate you all, and we thank God for you all, and want you to know we really do appreciate you and Dizzy, and the rest of the intel providers that's on those two calls.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks.
I don't know how to pronounce. I'll just give it a whirl. Dothan, Missouri, 573.
Yep, that's me. I have heard from several different calls that the ZIBs are going to go as bonds or they're going to go as currencies. I was wondering what you know about it.
Nothing. That's why I'm saying stay flexible. When you walk in the door, know nothing, but prepare for everything. I know that it stinks, but that's how they want the game played.
That's the way life is. You never know.
So
it's like a jar of jalapenos.
Right.
A jar of jalapenos. You never know what's going to bite you in the butt.
Exactly. That's why you're going to have to wing it when you walk in the door.
All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, round 2 for this gentleman. Toronto, come on down.
Hey, Jerry, I just sent you a copy of that free conference call link to the to the call. All right, so check the WINGIT email, and I just sent it to you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
There we go. Grants Pass, Oregon. Come on down.
Hello, Jerry.
Howdy.
I just wanted to say.
Hey, you're gonna have to take. Hello, you're gonna have to take me off the speaker there.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Much better. Go ahead. Yes, much better. Go ahead.
It was my Bluetooth. Sorry. I saw that SIP report last night, and I think it was a little confusing because it said D.C. approved it, and then they put someone else's type of signature on it. So I wasn't sure if that was really true for people and they're questioning it because of that. And I was on the other call yesterday with Sheldon. I heard that and I downloaded his whole file. So if you want all his paperwork, that was on the Nor Chronicle too.
Well, a gentleman just said that he sent it to me, so I've got it. Thank you.
Yes, the link for his Dropbox was also put out there with all his paperwork.
Right.
All right. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Seattle, Washington, 206. Come on down.
Hey, Jerry.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you. My question is about what's going on with the news over the last couple of weeks and how NATO is pushing into Romania and we're testing long-range missiles in the South China Sea. We're still active in the Ukraine. And then we go through and Clinton is interviewed over the weekend, but the FBI has announced that they're not going to file charges. So how can Nixon delete, an 18-minute conversation, and she deletes 30,000 emails, and no indictments happen? If the whole world has to go where no one goes, and we're not cleaning up this mess and doing what we need to do at home so that everybody is becoming free of this system and they're able to keep pushing and pushing, how are we ever going to get to this point? It's just like everybody has everybody's back.
Well, see now you're going to make me backpedal a little bit because I have my opinion about that, but to make statements will probably get a knock on my door. Let's put it that way. All I know,
I get that.
All I know is there is lots of laws for federal employees that state what they can and can't do regarding emails and encryption stuff like that. And all I know is the former Secretary of State has run afoul of all the laws that I have read about regarding that. So
right.
Now let's back up and say, if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Can you say threatening, leverage, and possible payoff to get what they want?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I just wonder what it's going to get people to wake up and, actually there's much that we can do aside from waiting on being able to put forth humanitarian projects to move the Republic forward so that we're all in this position to do the work and have God work through us with this gift to humanity. And it just gets so frustrating when you think something is happening and we don't go anywhere. The FBI, he stood there and he said that she did break the law and she did erase 8 emails that were classified. And it's still up to Loretta Lynch, who met with her husband. It's so frustrating to watch that it's just right in front of our eyes. And
ma'am, I just can't believe you're.
Sitting.
Ma'am, I just can't believe you're such a conspiracy theorist to think that things are done to harm our government. Shame on you for thinking like that, okay?
Oh my goodness, just a little truth out. That's all we need. Just a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah.
let's move on before we get. No, I have to keep I got to keep my lips shut.
I know you do.
Thank you, ma'am.
I know you do, but hopefully we will all go, and everybody is holding the whole world. So, thank you, Jerry.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and mute you. I'm going to say this. I would say, because the Republicans are just as guilty. But how do you tell when a politician is lying? It's because their lips are moving. That's right. If they say they're doing this for the betterment of our country or the betterment, this needs to be done, what's the ulterior motive? Their lips are moving, so what's that tell you? Let's see. Columbus, Ohio. Come on down.
Yes, I'm just curious. You said earlier in your program that the RV may have went, but somehow the Chinese had it held up. Is there a possibility that it may go tomorrow?
No, I never said it went.
No, you
I'm
said
not
it was
sure.
hold, you said it was held up, and maybe because the Chinese had something to do as far as when it's time for its releasing.
And I never said that either. I said it was held up, and we don't know why.
Okay.
Now, right. I have my thoughts.
I think we all got our thoughts. But let me ask you this then. Hypothetically speaking, it should come any time now. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Do you think it'll be this week?
I'm hoping. I've got my toes crossed.
I'm right along with you. That's all I had to say. But I'm enjoying your program, and I know that the Lord is getting ready to bless each and every one of us.
Thank you, sir.
Give it a blessed day, sir.
All right, bye-bye. Hey, Art, can you do me a favor and text Pastor and tell him that he's missing the show and maybe he could call in? Paris, California. Come on down.
Hi, Jerry. Hello, everyone in the room.
How you doing? You know who I haven't heard from is Wacky Weed, Florida, and maybe they can't get on. That's not how you pronounce it, but that's how I used to call them. They haven't called in a while. Are you still there, Paris?
Yes, I am. Yes,
okay,
I am.
Go ahead.
Like the lady that just called in before your previous caller, I have many concerns about things that are going on in our nation. You know, we're supposed to be a land of the free, home of the brave. You know, I don't know how long ago that was, but it sure hasn't been in my lifetime. And
maybe.
You know,
keep your fingers crossed. It will be.
I'm keeping them crossed. There's many people that call in to different calls, and I know that the majority of the people are just looking for information, whatever they deem to be accurate. But I just really don't like when people say disparaging remarks about different calls. I think if you don't agree or you have concerns about what's being said on any particular call, you should probably just not call in anymore. And I'm making reference to people who log on to your call specifically and then go on other calls and say, oh, that redneck call and, you know, this, that, and the other. So like I said, we're all just looking for the best information that we can get. And on that note, I was wondering if you could tell me, what do we know for a fact, without really speculating on when the 800 numbers would come out or when the RV, what do we know for a fact? Is there anything else that we know of that needs to be completed, or do we know for a fact that everything has been completed?
I know for a fact that I know nothing, and we know nothing. And I'm being honest now. And I'm answering your question, and I'm answering it honestly. We don't know exactly what's going on. We hear they say that this is done and this is it, and nothing else needs to be done. and then we turn around and we hear more stuff. And like I've said before, anybody who thinks that it's all about Iraq and they're in control of everything has their head in the sand. Because if it was all about Iraq and they could do it at any time, they would have done it months ago. But they haven't, because they haven't been given permission by whoever's in charge. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. I think we're all in the same boat. The more we learn, the more we realize we don't know anything.
Exactly. And your other comment there about how people from this call go on the other call and say that old redneck call, well, bless their hearts. All I've ever said, if I'm lying, call me out. I will say, you know what, you're absolutely right. I misquoted there. I'm man enough to stand up and say, hey, I was wrong. And I've done it before. And I'll probably have to do it again. Because the last time I was perfect is when I walked on water, just nobody saw that 2x12 just a half inch below that calm water surface.
Right. I've been wrong once in my lifetime as well, so.
Yeah, and then I corrected myself and I said, whoop, it was just my mistake. That's kind of like politicians. I thought I was wrong, but I just misquoted, that's all.
Okay, well, I appreciate you, Jerry. And to the gentleman that just called in, I believe it was Art that said he heard something about the Chinese are involved in some type of way, but he wasn't really sure, what the problem or the issue was.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And here is a blast from the past. Ludington, Michigan. I believe this is Big Fish. Come on down.
Hey, Jerry.
Hello. What are you doing,
Hello?
Fish?
How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm baking in this humidity and the heat. Pretty warm here in Michigan.
Oh,
But yeah, how's it there?
Hot and sticky.
Hot. Well, I want to talk about Basel III. I'm not quite sure I understand it.
Well,
I do know that.
No, nobody really does at this point.
It's a mechanism that was created to kind of give the banks a little restructure to play their games in more clear vision, right?
Yeah, more transparent, and it is to a point.
So, if all these banks, the tier 1 banks, are ready for us to come in, and that means that they're Basel III compliant, they have to be, or they cannot be ready for us to come in. They can't be pulling their shenanigans like they used to.
Correct.
They have to be transparent. And thank you for that. I was looking for that word.
That's the only word I could think of, and you're welcome.
So the transparency in the Basel III and should be coming in the Basel IV pretty soon here. I know there was an extension given on that Basel IV, but I think that sometime soon here that the banks are going to have to open their doors to that one. I don't understand why we're still here, because like I said, if they're waiting for us, if they're ready, then they're compliant. So there's something else afoot.
Exactly. All right, Fish. Well, you were the last caller, and thank you very much for that.
All right. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Wingman and Art and everyone else out there in Denarland. Happy
all right, you have a good day.
Independence to you all.
All righty. And so the frustration level is high for everybody, but we only have 3 options, and I'm in there with you. My frustration level is over the top, but I must remain calm, and the good Lord is teaching me patience, especially as an MC caller host, because if I lose it, it's not good. I can lose it in private, but I can't lose it on the call unless I have one of those BS crap moments when I was just telling the truth. So, once again, thank you for letting me do this. And I'm going to have to talk to the web mistress. She did not get the picture of the redneck grill posted on my web page like I was hoping she would. She has not. And it's hot in Texas, and so why not cook outside where you don't heat up the house? So I took a picture of the redneck grill, and I don't even know how to get in my own web page. That's pretty bad. Pretty bad. So that being said, let's all take a knee, please. Lord, once again, thank you for bringing information and maybe a little understanding. And we just ask that you give us a little peace and grace until you bring your blessing down. And I know that we don't always understand why we wait so long for you to do things. And I've asked many times, and I know my brothers and sisters are in need, and I request that you bring this blessing down to make their lives easier. So in Jesus Christ's name, amen. And as Iko says, or I say to Iko, what's the last thing you say, Iko? Goodbye.
The conference is now completed. Goodbye. Welcome to the conference.